Chosen one, you fought a battle no one saw coming. Quietly, fiercely, you rose from the ashes of your former self. And now the very people who once took you for granted are scrambling to understand how you became so unshakable. They remember the version of you who said yes to everything, who smiled through the pain, who accepted crumbs and called it kindness. But that version has been laid to rest, buried under the weight of your healing, your boundaries, your power. Now they whisper in disbelief. I didn't think they had it in them. I never thought they'd stand up like this. But you did. You always did. You weren't weak. You were wise. You were waiting, watching, growing. You've lived your life in an invisible arena, absorbing blow after blow, thinking that was just the way things were. People dismissed your dreams, dimmed your light, tried to keep you small. But what separates the chosen ones isn't that we never fall. It's that every fall becomes fuel. Every setback becomes sacred training. Every scar becomes scripture. And now, when you rise like thunder, unapologetic, unstoppable, and absolutely unforgettable. When you finally decided to stand up for yourself, you did it with a precision and a power forged from years of silently watching, learning, and preparing. Reflect for a moment on all those times people assumed you'd just take whatever they gave, thinking you'd remain quiet, small, and uncomplaining. They believed you'd never break out of the place they tried to keep you in. But now, you're done staying in your corner, done accepting less than you deserve, and absolutely done staying silent. Here's the truth nobody likes to admit. There's a world of abundance and opportunity waiting for you. Wealth, success, and recognition that's meant for you, that others secretly hope you never discover. Some people in your life benefit from keeping you stuck in the small town of your comfort zone, content with crumbs, always settling for less. They want you to believe that where you are now is where you'll always belong. But you know better. You've caught glimpses of what's possible. You've felt that persistent stirring deep inside that whispers, there's more, so much more. Maybe you've been restless, feeling bored, or looking at your life wondering, is this it? Is this really all there is? That feeling isn't dissatisfaction. It's your soul nudging you forward, letting you know it's time to level up. It's your intuition saying, stop settling, stop accepting crumbs, go claim what's meant for you. People around you can sense this transformation. You're no longer shrinking to fit the small spaces they tried to confine you in. And that's exactly why they're so stunned when you finally make your move. Not every fight is loud or dramatic. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply walk away. True strength doesn't always roar. Maybe your fight was packing your bags in the quiet hours and leaving a situation that was draining your spirit. Maybe it was handing in your resignation without waiting for their convincing words, or blocking someone's number with no explanations given. Society likes to convince us that standing up for ourselves has to be a spectacle. But chosen ones know the truth. The most revolutionary act can be silence. The most powerful move can be the one nobody expects. You left like a whisper, disappearing without a trace, one day present, tolerating their behavior for their comfort, and the next day gone. Now they're left sitting in that empty space, trying to process what happened. How did the person who used to accept everything suddenly become someone who accepts nothing less than respect? How did the one who always felt the need to explain become someone who owes no one an explanation? The reality behind the scenes is that they're scared. Those who took you for granted, who thought you'd always be around and let them treat you however they pleased, are now terrified by your absence. They're staring at the void you left behind, realizing the value you brought into their lives. Understanding, maybe for the first time, just how much brighter things were with you there, and how dim everything seems now that you're gone. Some of them are genuinely heartbroken, shedding real tears because they never thought your departure would be real. They never considered that their actions would actually drive you away. They imagined you would keep prioritizing their comfort over your own peace. Now they're having conversations about you, admitting, I never thought they'd actually go. I thought it was all talk. I didn't think they had it in them to really walk away. But the truth is, you always had it in you. You were simply waiting for the right moment to show it. Now you're not ruled by emotion. When faced with nonsense, you move with strategy. You respond instead of react, and you're no longer desperate to be understood by those who never truly saw you anyway. If someone tries to manipulate you now, you handle it with a calm strength they never expected. Now you see right through it all. When someone tries to guilt trip you, their attempts just bounce off. If anyone tries to make you feel small, you meet them with a calm confidence that makes them question themselves instead. You've become the person who asks for specifics. What exactly are you sorry for? What did you actually do? What do you mean by that? And you no longer accept vague apologies, half-hearted explanations, or manipulation disguised as concern. This new energy radiates from you so strongly that people can sense it even when you're not present. That's real power. That's the energy of a chosen one. What's wild is how effortless it feels now. Remember those days when you would rehearse tough conversations in your head, losing sleep over how someone might react to your boundaries? That anxiety is gone. Quick pause, family. If this message is resonating with your soul and you'd love to support this sacred work, feel free to buy me a coffee. It keeps this space flowing with truth, light, and divine clarity. The link is in the description. Drop number 88 in the comments if you're feeling this. Let's keep going. What people don't understand about your transformation is that it didn't happen overnight. You didn't just wake up and decide to change. You've been unconsciously training for this moment your whole life. Every time someone dismissed your ideas and you quietly took note, every time someone took credit for your work, every time you were talked over in a meeting and memorized the pattern, you weren't just tolerating poor treatment, you were studying. You were learning how people act when they think they can get away with it. You've been collecting data, building a mental database of tactics and manipulations. And now you spot them a mile away. You see the setup before the punchline, the game before it starts, the manipulation before it lands. That's why your responses are so strategic now. Why you're always 3 steps ahead. They can't figure out how to handle you because you're no longer just reacting. You're prepared, informed, and aware in ways they never expected. They thought you were naive, but really, you were just quietly observing. Someone out there has noticed your transformation. Someone's been watching you grow, witnessing you become this powerful, self-assured, uncompromising version of yourself. Maybe it's someone from your past, seeing you with new eyes. Or maybe it's someone new who's drawn to your confidence. Or maybe it's you, finally falling in love with your own authentic self, now that you've stopped living to please everyone else. People look at you now and wonder, who is this person? Where did all this strength come from? How did I not see this power before? They're right to be amazed. The person you are today, who stands tall, knows her worth, and refuses to settle, is truly magnificent. Exactly who you were always meant to be. Some of you are right in the midst of a major life transition. You're leaving, physically, emotionally, spiritually, moving away from everything that ever kept you small. But this isn't just a change of scenery. It's a total transformation of your energy and your entire way of being. You're slipping on your metaphorical hood and disappearing into the night, not to run away, but to run toward the life that's been calling your name. You're stepping boldly into the abundance that's always been waiting for you. And those you're leaving behind are starting to realize that they never really knew you at all. They only saw the version of you that played small for their comfort. But they never got to know the real, unstoppable you, the powerful you. The real chosen one finally stepped forward when you stopped lying to yourself. You quit pretending that anything less than what you truly deserve was enough. And you stopped making excuses for people who refused to respect you. No longer were you willing to accept crumbs when you knew deep down you were worthy of the entire feast. You started to speak your truth, not in a harsh or mean-spirited way, but with clarity, honesty, and conviction. And it's true. Truth can make people uncomfortable, especially those who benefited from your silence. But now, your truth is non-negotiable. Your worth is no longer up for debate. And your standards don't bend just to make things easier for others. You've become the person who keeps track of what's said and done, who doesn't let things slide anymore, who insists on accountability. That energy, your unshakable commitment to truth, has the power to clear out rooms, end old relationships, and begin bold new chapters. What's surprising is how much simpler it all becomes once you stop investing in protecting everyone else's feelings. You're not cruel, but you won't sugarcoat reality either. When someone asks a direct question, you answer directly. When someone tries to rewrite history, you calmly set the record straight. If anyone attempts to gaslight you, you trust your own memory over their selective forgetfulness. Those who relied on your confusion, your self-doubt, and your willingness to second-guess yourself are completely thrown off by this new, clear-eyed version of you. What's even more remarkable is how your transformation isn't just changing your own life. It's creating a ripple effect far beyond your immediate circle. People who've been watching you from a distance are waking up. They're realizing what's possible when you stop settling. That colleague, tired of a toxic boss, finally handed in their resignation. That friend stuck in a draining relationship just had the difficult conversation they needed. That family member who always let everyone walk over them is now setting boundaries. You didn't just liberate yourself, chosen one. You became the spark for other people's freedom too. Your courage gave them permission to find their own. And your example inspired others to fight for their worth. Meanwhile, the people who once depended on controlling everyone around them are watching their systems unravel. They're realizing that your transformation wasn't just a one-off. It sparked a revolution. They can't simply replace you with another pushover, because now everyone has seen what standing up looks like. Behind the scenes, while they were busy underestimating you, something amazing was quietly growing. Your dreams, your ambitions, your vision for a better life. Maybe it's a business about to take off, a creative project ready to soar, a relationship about to blossom, or a move that will change everything. Whatever it is, it's real, it's sturdy, and it's built to last. This isn't fleeting success. It's lasting abundance and genuine fulfillment. And when those who once doubted you finally see the life you built for yourself, they'll have no choice but to recognize just how far you've come. They're going to be even more shocked when they realize you didn't just find the courage to walk away. You had the vision and wisdom to build something extraordinary in the very place where you landed. Your transformation is more than just an act of self-preservation. It's a living force that's making everyone around you look in the mirror and question themselves. By refusing to accept poor treatment, you're not just protecting your own spirit, you're holding up a spotlight that exposes the ways others have compromised themselves. Your dedication to honoring your worth is nudging people to reflect on their own patterns. Why have they settled for less? Why have they stayed in places that made them small? Why have they allowed their boundaries to be trampled? Your willingness to walk away from what no longer serves you is making them wonder what it would take for them to do the same. In this new chapter, you've become a living, breathing mirror, chosen one. And while some are inspired by what they see reflected, others find it uncomfortable. Because your growth shows them everything they've been too afraid or too complacent to change. Some people look at you and feel hope, courage, and the possibility of their own breakthrough. Your transformation reminds them that it's never too late to choose yourself, to say no to what drains you, and to seek something greater. But for others, seeing you rise exposes their own fears. Their unwillingness to raise their standards, and their reluctance to risk the unknown. That's why some people cheer you on, sharing in your joy, while others respond with resistance, whispering about how much you've changed, questioning your motives, or even trying to tear you down. What many don't understand is that your transformation is about more than just personal gain. You've become an example of what's possible when someone makes the brave choice to stop settling for less than they deserve. For people who have spent their lives believing they had no choice but to accept pain, disrespect, or neglect, your journey is both inspiring and unsettling. You force them to confront the question, if you can do it, what's stopping me? Some people hope you'll come back, longing for the comfort of old dynamics, even if those dynamics were built on your silence and self-sacrifice. They look around at the emptiness that's been left in your absence, realizing how much they relied on your energy, your kindness, and your presence. Now they might be sending messages, making promises, expressing regret, and asking for another chance, convinced that things could be different if only you'd return. But you know the truth deep in your bones. You are not the person who left. You cannot go back to the old version of yourself because you've experienced the fullness of freedom and self-worth. You've seen what it feels like to be genuinely valued, deeply respected, and truly cherished. Once you know what you deserve, once you've tasted real fulfillment, it's impossible to settle for less. Even if you decide to reconnect with people from your past, it will never be under the old terms. You simply cannot squeeze yourself back into spaces, relationships, or roles that no longer fit your growth. You're not moving backward or dimming your light for anyone's comfort anymore. Now you're stepping boldly into new territory, and that could mean many things. A move to a different city or country, a completely new mindset, a higher level of confidence, a powerful relationship with yourself, or an entirely different spiritual reality. Wherever you're going, it's a landscape you've never explored before. You're operating from a place of deep self-respect, demanding more from life and expecting more from those around you. Yes, this uncharted path may feel a bit scary at times, but it's also exhilarating. There's a sense of belonging here, a sense of coming home to yourself that you never felt before. With every step forward, you're discovering something profound. When you truly know your worth, opportunities naturally gravitate toward you. When you refuse to settle, the universe responds with greater abundance than you could have imagined. And when you choose to honor yourself, respect follows you wherever you go. All the growth, all the boundaries, all the brave choices, they add up to a remarkable victory. Let's make it clear. You won, chosen one. You fought the battle of your life and emerged not just standing, but thriving. You faced down every obstacle, fear, doubt, manipulation, guilt, and every weapon thrown your way. And you turned your pain into power. You didn't just survive, you've become a beacon. Now your journey is inspiring others to break free, to dream bigger, and to create lives that honor their deepest worth. And as you build your new world, filled with success, joy, abundance, and authentic connection, those who once underestimated you will have no choice but to watch in awe, knowing that the person you've become is unstoppable. They spent years trying to keep you small, boxing you in with their limitations, quieting your voice, and making you believe your dreams were too big, your expectations too high, your desires too much. Every subtle slight, every whispered doubt, every moment they ignored your boundaries or overlooked your worth was another attempt to convince you to accept less than you truly deserved. But against all odds, you broke through their constraints. You won your freedom, not just from their influence, but from your own old patterns of self-doubt and hesitation. You reclaimed your self-respect, dusting it off like a crown that was always yours, but had been tucked away, waiting for you to remember your royalty. You stepped into your power and insisted on your right to be treated with genuine respect, kindness, and appreciation. You've earned your seat at the table of those who recognize your true value, who don't just tolerate you, but celebrate you, who see your gifts and are eager for you to bring them forward. This is not just a seat you were invited to, it's a place you claim for yourself, a right you asserted by refusing to fade into the background. And in doing so, you've also claimed your golden ticket to the life you used to imagine from afar, the one that always felt just out of reach when you were stuck in cycles of people-pleasing and self-sacrifice. But here's what truly sets you apart. Just like a champion, you understand that victory isn't about reliving old battles or proving yourself to those who never saw your worth. True champions don't stay in the same ring forever, basking in yesterday's victory. You're moving forward, hungry for new challenges and bigger dreams. You're already scanning the horizon, eyes lit with possibility, seeking the next mountain to climb, the next arena in which to shine. While the people who underestimated you are still sitting in the stands, shocked, confused, unable to process how the person they once took for granted has become so powerful, you're busy preparing for your next leap. They're trapped in yesterday's story, but you're already writing the next chapter of your life. The truth is, you were never weak, never helpless, never relying on anyone else's approval to define your value. That sense of power, capability, and worth was always burning inside you, even when you had to dim it to fit in, even when you told yourself you had to play small to keep the peace. The only thing that changed is that you stopped hiding. You stopped masking your light to make others comfortable. Stopped twisting yourself into knots to fit inside the limited boxes other people built for you. And now, with your brilliance shining for all to see, there's no turning back. They can't forget your strength. They can't go back to treating you like an afterthought, because you simply won't allow it anymore. You've changed the rules of engagement forever. This is what it looks like when a chosen one stops apologizing for being too much, stops trying to be palatable, stops sacrificing their dreams for the comfort of others. This is the revolution that happens inside a soul when someone finally owns their power. Your energy is different now, bold, magnetic, unshakable. And that energy, it changes everything. Look at the life you're building. Look at the way people respond to you with new respect, with genuine curiosity, with admiration. Notice how love finds you now, love that lifts you up rather than drags you down. See how doors that were once sealed tight suddenly swing open as you walk by, drawn by the certainty of someone who knows exactly what she brings to the table. Reflect on how far you've come. You're not the same person who accepted less than she deserved. You're not the same person who made excuses for those who didn't value her. You're not the same person who stayed silent out of fear, who gave in to guilt, or who let other people's comfort dictate her limits. Now you speak up with authority. You set boundaries and enforce them without apology. You demand respect and don't flinch if someone's unable or unwilling to give it. You become a living example of transformation, a person who fought for herself when nobody else would and emerged victorious. And here's the beautiful part. This isn't the end of your story, it's just the beginning. Chosen ones don't peak and plateau. They keep expanding, keep growing, keep exploring new territory within themselves and the world. Every victory fuels the next. Every lesson builds your strength. The same people who once doubted your power are now watching in awe as you rise to heights they never imagined were possible for you. Those who tried to keep you confined in their limited vision are being left behind, witnessing your journey with disbelief as you outgrow every boundary they tried to impose. Now, you are stepping into a life so vibrant, so abundant, so closely aligned with your purpose that you'll wonder why you ever waited to demand more. Opportunities that once seemed impossible now seek you out, drawn to your authenticity and confidence. Abundance is finding its way to you, not because you're lucky, but because you know you deserve it, and you won't accept anything less. Respect is no longer something you have to fight for. It follows you naturally as you move through the world with self-assurance. Take a moment to breathe it all in, your new reality. You fought the battle no one expected, and you won a victory no one saw coming. You've claimed a life that's just beginning to unfold, a life rooted in your refusal to settle, in your decision to hold out for what's truly worthy of you. The journey ahead is wide open, full of promise, full of possibilities you once only dared to dream about. This is your new reality, chosen one, a life you've built from the ground up, by standing firm, by rising every time you were knocked down, by refusing to accept anything less than your full potential. Welcome to the world you've created with your courage, your resilience, and your unwavering belief that you were always meant for more. This is just the beginning, and the best is yet to come. That's all for today. Dear Father, I pray for the growth of my faith. Help me trust you even when physical evidence is lacking. Let me believe in your perpetual presence, knowing you will never harm me. I understand that your thoughts for me are thoughts of prosperity and not harm, to give me a good future. Thank you, gracious and eternal Father, for always listening to my voice. I offer up this prayer to you in the name of Jesus, amen. Thank you, Jesus, for your love and provision. I am grateful for your presence in my life and the abundance you bring. If this video resonated with you, please like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with those who need to hear this message. We'd love to hear from you. Share your journey in the comments below. Tell us how you're preparing for your own powerful return. Your story may be the light someone else needs today. If you feel called to support our mission, you can do so through Buy Me a Coffee. The link is in the description. Every offering, no matter how small, a coin, a kind word, a silent prayer, helps us continue creating meaningful content and spreading divine truth to those who need it most. But don't stop here. There's more waiting for you. Watch our next video to discover the undeniable signs that confirm you are one of the chosen ones. It's been an honor to walk this sacred path with you. Thank you for staying until the end. Keep shining your light, keep trusting your purpose, and step boldly into your divine calling. Until next time, blessings to all the radiant souls in this community. From the bottom of our hearts, we see you, we thank you, and we believe in you.